how closely are these two things joined at the hip in your mind? We hear a lot about platform engineering as a form of centralization of DevOps. And of course, we have talked about Kubernetes and the single set of APIs for continuous delivery. But, are these two sides of the same coin?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. Right, platform engineering is a centralization of kind of the DevOps as a practice into one group that manages the infrastructure, manages the stem cell of the application stack, manages the Kubernetes distro, and developers access to the developer platform, essentially providing reliability, availability, governance, compliance, security, and cost control and observability, and all the chargebacks and showbacks that that large organizations want. And when it comes to Kubernetes, Kubernetes, I look at it as the great unifier and a great democratizer, right? I mean, what I mean by that is that Kubernetes kind of hides the disparities in the underlying cloud infrastructure in a data center or cloud. But also it flattens the org structure in a way that your developers can simply build and deploy their apps and drive them in production like never before, right? So what happens with these two when both of them come together? Now, platform engineering organizations, platform organizations are under a lot of pressure today. Centralized, most large enterprises have centralized their software operations under these teams, and they have been asked to provide a lot of services. At the same time, they've also been asked to build these services agnostic of the data center or cloud, so they can have the application agility to go from one environment to the other environment, or move one cloud to the other cloud, or even to be able to deploy their apps, their businesses built closer to their end users and customers. And almost always these platform engineering orgs are understaffed. They are come under the IT, they come under the GA budget many times. They are almost always understaffed, and they support large application development organizations and support a lot of applications in production. For example, I can give you an example of one of our large telco customers. Has about 10,000 to 12,000 application developers. The platform engineering org that supports all those developers is only 15 people. I'll let that sink in.
Yeah.
Right? That's a huge imbalance. It's a lopsided disadvantage on the platform engineering side. But they are all rising up to the challenge. And with the help of Kubernetes and our partners who ship enterprise Kubernetes offerings like OpenShift, they are able to rise to the challenge, run these applications in production, help their developers deploy and manage their apps in production without having to individually manage each application in production, right? And that is where the power of Kubernetes really comes in. And when they now built it on Kubernetes, because it's strategies on Kubernetes, the developer can self-service provision their apps and data, when they run things on Portworx. Not only that, they can also run the same application on a cloud or a public cloud or any other private cloud of their choice, because there is no more expensive porting and moving the infrastructure that they need, because the app and data move together when you combine something like Kubernetes and Portworx together, right? So that kind of agility these developers and the platform engineers get.